everybody. Hi, Mum. Okay, this is episode 6, I think, of Tips, Tricks, and Tools, and I'm going to show you 3 different things. First off, I've had a request on the envelope punch board, and so I thought I would show you real quick how to use it and how I use it. Okay, I have this 6x6 paper, so I'm going to make a tiny envelope for you, a couple of them. This was a gift from Lori Turley, and it's heavier than paperweight, but not cardstock. Does that make sense to you? I don't know. But it is kind of a nice weight paper. I don't know what collection that's from, but it's really pretty. So, because it's already cut and it's 6x6, this is a great way to use up your 6x6 paper pads. Make all kinds of little envelopes. On your punch board here, you have the size that you want, the size the paper needs to be, and then your score line. Now, because I already have my paper size, it's here, it's going to make a 3x4 envelope. So this is my score line, 2 5/8. Now, I don't know if I can do this upside down. Okay, yeah, here it is. Here's my 2 5/8. Now the thing about the punch board, it works wonderful. It really does. But if you're not accurate, you might end up with problems. So it's important that you get your paper cut as accurately as you can. Your score line should be in the center of the white line. I just need to turn it, you guys, because I can't really see that. Okay. So, you know the little groove here that you have? I don't know if I can get that up nice and close. There's a little groove. So if you can manage to get the edge of your paper right into the center of the groove, then your scoring should be right on. Now, make sure you're using the tip. Don't score it flat. Use the tip. Be careful though, because if you're using paperweight, you don't want to tear your paper. So I'm going to start from the bottom and I'm not going to push hard to start. And I'm going to go right up inside. I think a lot of people don't do that. They stop here, and then they have a hard time finding their next line. So just do it a few times gently to get a nice score. Now, you need to punch. So that will get your first notch. When you turn it, you're not going to go 2 5/8 again. Now the measurement, ignore it. Just totally ignore it. You only need the measurement once. Then you're going to line up this score line with this tip. See, it says score guide. So you want to line that up with the tip. Let's see if I can turn that and if you can see that better. So when I push it against here, I'm going to line up my bend. And I know that's hard for you to see because it's hard for me to see. But it is right in the middle of my score line. I'm going to punch it, and then I'm going to score it. And I'm just pushing gently, but I'm going to go right up inside. And then again, I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to line up that score line again, making sure my paper is on the back. And because of where my light is, it is really hard for me to see that score line. I just have to hold it up to my eyeballs, guys. Okay, there it is. All right, so I'm going to punch again and score again. Okay, and my last time, line up my score. I don't think this paper was exactly 6x6, to be honest with you. Okay. So there's your leftovers. Now, as for folding, because my butterflies are all going in one direction, I want to make sure this is my top. I always fold my sides in first, like that, and then the bottom, like so. You can use your score tool to score the edges. So there's your envelope. Now, I don't like this part. A lot of people leave it. I don't like it. So I take a pencil, and where it meets in a V, I just put a dot. Both sides. And then take my scissors and I cut it off. I just think it looks prettier. It looks like a real envelope. And I cut that crooked. No, I didn't. It's just me. Now, before you go ahead and glue, I like to, do the end. So you turn your board around, and back here, there's a little notch. So you put it in nice and square and push, and it just rounds the end of your envelope. Before I do anything else, I ink it up because I like mine inked. You don't have to. That's, completely up to you whether you do that or not. But personally, I like the inked edge. And it's a lot easier to do before you actually glue it. Yeah, that is crooked. Isn't that funny how it can be out just a hair, but you can see it? Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and glue. Now I glue in two spots. I'll go along this edge, and I don't go right to the edge because you don't want it seeping into the envelope. And then I'll glue on this edge. Now I'm not going to go all the way up because, oh, did I just do the opposite? Yes, I did. Dork. Let's just wipe that off. I want to use something different than that glue. I do use a wet glue here, but it's different. I'll show you. So I just totally glued the wrong thing. Let's just wipe that off. That's what happens when I'm trying to do it upside down. Oh boy. Okay. That's my top. That's my bottom. There we go. Yep. Okay. That's round two. Oh, and I didn't ink that part. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, try that again. Those are going inside. Okay. Oh, that's really messy. Let's get that off there. Okay, like I said before, just along the bottom edge of this flap and top edge of this flap. Okay, so push it down, fold it up with your thumb, and then push out. Just like that. I always stick my finger in there to make sure I have no glue there. That moved it. Come on now. There. Okay. I'm not going to ink the inside because I think I am going to tea stain it when it's all dry. But I wanted to show you this for the envelopes, and it is called Lick and Stick. And it was created for this purpose. So it has a dauber, and I usually just put a dot at the top, let it dry, and then when you're ready to use the envelope and seal it, then you can just get it wet again and it will stick. Cool, huh? I got this at my craft store. I don't know where you'd get it, but that's what it's called. Lick and Stick. It's just nicer than double-sided tape. Okay? So that's the envelope punch board. You can make other things with it. I'm not going to show you that today. That'll be another episode, I think. I wanted to show you the Xyron. Now, I have 2 of these, and I know a lot of people own them and never ever use them. They find them either a pain or I don't know. I didn't use mine for the longest time, but the more I use die cuts, the more I use my Xyron. Now this is a 2.5 inch in this way. Okay, so this is 2.5 inches wide, but I have the bigger one, which is a 5-inch opening and great for those bigger things. So I'm gonna have to widen out so I can get that in the shot. So there it is, really simple to use. We're going to create stickers. Now I have all these little die cut flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just lay them on the bed here. Once I get them laid in there, I'll show you what I've done. Okay. So, there's 2 ridges, one on this side, one on that side. In between those ridges is where you can put your die cuts to create your stickers. That will glue it. You push them to the back as far as they will go, and then you just turn the dial. Now I have to turn this around this way so that you can see it come out the back. So I just guide them with my fingers until they catch. Okay, that one's going. So don't go fast because you want them to catch. There we go. And out they come. Okay, and I only go just past, because I don't want to waste. And then you just tear it off. You tear it off. There. Okay, let's move that out of my way. Okay, this one overlapped, because I did put 2 little ones and I shouldn't have, I guess. Now, this is where I didn't like mine, which is why I didn't use it, because it's got little stickies that stick out. Well, you just take your finger and you rub it. And it takes off all the little bits of sticker that you don't want showing on your project before you actually remove the sticker. And once it doesn't feel sticky to you anymore, then you're done. So there's my little sticker. So now I can peel it off and just bam, stick it on my project. And it really is sticky. I've used it several times, and it really is a good adhesive that they use for that. So what I do is I get a bunch of stuff together and I do a whole bunch at once, and then I have them ready to use. So that's the Xyron. I really like it. Don't get the little X one. That's a waste of money. This is a good size if you're only using it for, the smaller die cuts. Works great. If you want to use it for bigger things, then I suggest the bigger one. I paid 25 bucks for that, which I thought was a very good price, because when they first came out, they were way more money. Now that was Canada, I paid $25. So all you Americans who are crossing the border, because our dollar's horrible and yours isn't, yeah, come and get it up in Canada. It's a lot cheaper for you. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, I wanted to show you, what was it? Oh yes, my die. So I have this beautiful doily die, and I wasn't using it because it's really hard to get the doily out, you know, like not out, but clean the doily itself, the die. So I wasn't using it a ton. Well, one day I was playing and I thought, okay, I know everybody says use wax paper, which I do. I will do it several times in a row and then I don't need it for 1 or 2 times, which is this in this case. Okay? So I've cut this out of just, it's copy paper with some printed, you know, lines on it. And you can see how many are not out. Okay? Yeah, pokey tools, thousands of holes. Yeah, I wasn't impressed. So I discovered using a toothbrush. Now I used an old one that I had hanging around the house, but I went and bought a cheap one, but it's a firm, and I don't brush my teeth with a firm. So I bought the firm so that I could just do this. Ta-da. So much faster. Yeah, it makes a mess on your desk, but whatever. That's what crafting's all about. And I do the same thing actually on the die cut item. I push it more than anything because it will kind of poke through the holes. And it's a little bit faster than using your pokey tool. So I'll poke them through. It works better with cardstock, to be honest with you, because, you know, you don't have to be as gentle with cardstock as you do with paper. But I'll just go on the back and just give it a rub, you know, for those ones that are real stubborn. I don't know if over time, like, your die gets dull, or I don't know. But some of the holes have never really been fantastic. The die itself is from Xyron. I bought it quite a long time ago now. That was one of those big purchases, you know, that you kind of like cringe when you spend the money because Xyron's not cheap. But it was something that I thought, you know what, I'm going to use this a ton, so it was worth the cost to me. And I was right, I use it a ton, especially now that it's so much easier to actually clean the holes out. So there you go. There's my die cut. And it's so pretty. I love this die. So I thought I'd share with you. It doesn't work on some dies. You know, with the bigger holes, it's very good for the intricate holes. The bigger holes, you're better off just using your pokey tool. But when it's real intricate little things like this, it works great. And use the wax paper. That works great. I get mine at the dollar store, so it's very inexpensive to have that just for your craft room. Okay, so there you go. Tips, Tricks, and Tools, Episode 6. Thanks for watching. Bye.